Okay, how's it going? Um, talk about a crazy week and an already crazy semester, crazy year. Um, Man, you guys have my sympathies. Starting college in you know, a year like this. Um, I really hope things get back to normal soon and you're all able to have a normal college experience. And I really do hope that everyone made it through that last storm okay. Um, Myself, I got pretty lucky. Um, I kept power the whole time, so I was able to, I had heat, which was extremely lucky. Um, I did lose water and I lost internet for most of the week, but yeah, definitely luckier than a lot of people. Um, so I do hope that you made it through everything okay. That your family were able to stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm. Um, if this week did affect you, more than most, and you find that it's taking you a little longer to get back to normal, if this starts to affect your ability to turn in assignments or to work on this class, please let me know. Okay. I absolutely will try to be flexible, to work with you and get you to the point where, or just give you the time to, get back to normal. So if you do find yourself in a situation like that, please feel like you can talk to me about it. Let me know, and I'll do what I can to work with you and you know, give you time or any help that you need in getting caught up. Okay. Um, so yeah, please do let me know. Let's see. Okay. Um, so as far as our schedule goes, I am going to put out um, an update to the syllabus again. Okay. I haven't finished it yet because, as far as I know, the university is playing around with the idea of like adding another week to the term, um, which would give us a little bit more cushion to kind of push some stuff back. Um, so I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work yet. Once I have a better idea, I will put out an update to the syllabus. But for now, what I can tell you is that basically everything is moving back a week. Okay, so um, I know this says, let's see. So right now we are right here, even though this says the week of February 15th, just move that forward. Um, we're basically just moving everything back a week, okay? Um, what that means is that for the week, or for this week, you have two assignments, okay? You're going to have a discussion board, which will be based on chapter 8. Okay, I'm only one question this week, since we're getting caught up. Um, but it's going to be a chapter 8 review. Okay, and then uh, for your individual writing assignment, you're going to have journal number 4, which is basically just going to be a rough draft. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this video, because I want you to do that a little bit different. But for now, yeah, that's the plan for this week. Okay. I'm going to have another lecture. Instead of evaluation, it's going to be just kind of going over the essay, since, again, we missed a week. You all had a lot going on. Um, I'm just going to kind of go over the essay in a little bit more depth to kind of um, help you get a better handle on what I'm looking for on what you can do to be successful here. Okay. Uh, yeah, just one discussion board question. Figured I'd cut back and kind of give you give you a little break, or kind of help you ease back into the class. And then next week, your major writing project will due. I know it says February 27th, which is the end of this week, but just basically push that back a week. Okay. Um, that's pretty much all you have to do for next week. I do plan on putting out a video on research questions, because at this point we really do need to start thinking ahead towards the next part of the class, which has to do with you actually picking a research question, uh, and then doing research on that question leading up to the next two essays. So we really do need to get started with that. I'll put up some material on Blackboard for next week, just kind of getting us ready for that. But yeah, I want to make sure that I give you plenty of time to just work on the major writing project number one. Okay. In that respect, I've put up your journal, and again, this is going to be a rough draft assignment. However, I do want this. I want you to approach this a little differently than a normal rough draft. And here's what I mean by that. I want you to approach this kind of like how you would a free write. Okay? Let me put it this way. When, at least in my experience, both as a student and as a teacher, and someone who's been around education for a while, or writing classes for a while, if a teacher asks you for a rough draft, usually what you do is you just sit down, you write the paper, right? You just write the essay, and then when it comes time to revise, you really just change a few things here and there, or maybe clean up some mistakes, right? If you made any like grammar issues, or I don't know, misspellings, or just things you maybe didn't catch. So you make a few changes, a few corrections, and then you turn it in, and not much really changes from the rough draft to the final paper. At least I would guess. If you have a different experience, then maybe I don't need to do this, but that's kind of how I approached it when I was in college, at least. And that's fine, but that doesn't really, you're not really getting everything you could out of the writing process. Okay. And I want to make sure that you at least get a feel for what that's like. Okay. Because when we talk about revision, revision is a very useful tool to have. Okay. And revision is different from editing. Kind of what I described right there, when you make small little grammar corrections, or these really tiny changes to just make it sound better. That's more editing, when you're cleaning up mistakes. Revising is when you're actually like making these big significant changes, and you might rewrite whole sections, or even just delete whole sections if it doesn't make sense. You might move some things around. Maybe you had a paragraph up at the beginning that you think, oh well, maybe this should just be at the end now. Or sometimes what'll happen is you start writing a paper, and then by the time you get to the end, you kind of figured out what you really wanted to talk about, and so at the end you're arguing something completely different than what you were at the beginning. That happened to me a lot, at least. And so revising is meant to change that kind of stuff, right? Where you're making these big changes, changing content and moving things around and cutting stuff and rewriting. And, that's an important skill to have. Now, when I was in undergrad, when I took this class, and when I took, other classes, as a, what do you call it, underclassman, lower division, I guess, I could get away with just having the one draft. I would write a lot of papers the night before they were due. Finish them up and print them as as I'm on my way to class a couple of times. And I was a good writer. I could get away with that. But as I went further and further in my academic career, it didn't cut it as much as it would. I could still, get good grades, but I would get the paper back, and yeah, there would be some big problems, and I could see that I wasn't writing up to my potential, if that makes sense. You know, I was still writing good, but like I could do better. And so as I went even further, you know, and where I'm at now, I have to revise. You know, um, it just doesn't work when you're at the level I'm at now. And, you know, not everybody's going to have to do that. But like I said, it's a good tool to have. As you go further in your academic career and you get into, you know, classes where you have to write longer essays than what we're doing here, or, you know, it's more complex subject material than what we're going to be doing here, you're going to have to revise, or at least you most likely will have to revise. And I want to give you the opportunity to kind of get more comfortable with that right here. Um, so I want you to, again, like I said, I want you to approach this like a free write, and I do this for a couple of reasons. One is, like I said, I want you to get more comfortable with this because I do think this is something that you will use. But two, you know, when we talk about things like writer's block, right? I don't know if you ever had writer's block. I've had writer's block plenty of times where you're staring at a computer screen, or you know, you write a sentence and then that's shit, and you erase it, and you know, you try to write a few more and that's terrible, and you erase it, and you know, you spend like 3 hours working on a paper and have like nothing to show for it, and you're just pulling your hair out and thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna fail this class. And that's, you know, that's one way to write an essay. However, if instead of that approach, if you were to sit down and start a timer and say, okay, I'm going to just write for 35, 40 minutes or so and see what happens, right? It's probably not going to be very good, but you don't have to worry about it being very good because it's just a rough draft, right? And so you start writing, and you know, you get all your ideas, and it's going to be tough, but you force yourself to write. And as you're writing, you start to figure out, okay, well, you know, now I'm writing about this, and oh, well, that makes me think of that. And you start stringing ideas together, and the 45 minutes ends, and you have something that does not look like an essay, but within that, there might be some good ideas, right? Because you put your ideas on paper, and those ideas might lead you to more ideas, and so now you have something to work with, right? And you know, let's say you, all right, I'm gonna start again. I'll do another free write, and this time it looks a little better, right? You have your ideas figured out. They might change a little bit as you're writing, but you know, you at least have a start, and you keep writing, and okay, things are starting to look a little better, right? Because it's your second try, and usually, you know, the first time you do something is rough. The second time you try it, it's a little bit better, right? That's just how, you know, most things work. Um, you know, practice makes perfect. So your second attempt at an essay is a little bit better. You know, you spend another 30, 40 minutes or so. Um, and now you have something that looks a little bit better. Maybe it looks a little bit more like an essay, but it's still, you know, still a free write. It's still got some errors. It's still, you know, not cleaned up, not quite ready to turn in. That's okay, because again, it's just a free write. Um, you know, then you try it again, and it's looking even closer. It's looking better. Um, at this point, you know, you've written 3 drafts, right? And you've spent about the same time as you did pulling your hair out trying to write the first introduction to your essay, right? Um, so that's kind of the idea, is that when you force yourself to write, in this free writing exercise, you get your ideas on paper, and now you have something that's a lot easier to work with than if you take the approach of, oh, I need to make everything perfect the first time through, right? Um, this is why I like free writing, and this is, you know, one of the reasons why I've tried to include it in this class, and really, you know, most classes that I teach, is that, you know, this there's something to be said for that. Like I said, I was very much the kind of student who would write the essay the night before, and I got pretty far with that approach. But you know, even I hit a wall where I couldn't do that anymore, And now when I'm writing stuff, I'm writing stuff for my classes right now, for my dissertation. um, and yeah, if I try to sit down and just and like write the final draft, it doesn't go as well as it used to. um, it's much easier to just sit down and do some free writing first, to start, just kind of kicking ideas around and seeing what happens, and then, move on from there. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now for my own work. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how I want you to approach this. I want you to, uh, for the assignment for this journal, here's what I want you to do. I want you to spend about 15 minutes. I know I said 15 to 20, but it doesn't have to be a full 15. Just kind of taking notes on the website that you picked, right, for you to write about or to analyze. This way, just kind of the ideas are fresh in your mind, right? You have, something to look at as you write your rough draft. And then for step 2, just sit down, set a timer for around 30 to 40 minutes, um, and just write. Just put the ideas down. Don't worry about, having a good introduction. Don't worry about grammar, punctuation, spelling. Um, you don't have to worry about any of that at this point. Just get the ideas down, and then we go from there. Okay. Now that said, this is going to take some work to take this and turn it into the final draft, right? Um, but I really do believe that splitting this assignment up into 2 separate weeks, right? So you have a week to work on this, and you have a week to work on the final draft, and at the very least, that's 2 attempts, right? You know, and so I really do think that this will help. This will help you develop your ideas and get your ideas figured out when you sit down to write the final draft. Okay? So this is your big assignment for this week. Don't spend more than an hour on this. I mean, you can if you want to, but I know you're busy. I'm not expecting you to spend any more time than an hour. I'll say that. Okay. Just write, see what happens. This is gonna be uncomfortable. I know that not everybody's comfortable with the free writing, but I think some of you are getting better, or more comfortable, I should say. But when it comes time to like writing an actual essay, I know this is going to be weird. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but try it out. Students in the past seemed to like this. They weren't sure about it at first, but I've heard them say that this is something that they like from this class, that they will take onto their future classes. So maybe it'll work for you. Okay, I'm gonna end this video here. I just wanted to make sure that I addressed this assignment, kind of talked about it. Makes it a little easier than just reading, I know. I'm going to put out another video talking more about the essay itself pretty soon. And yeah, that's it for this week. Okay, if you have questions on this assignment, on our schedule, or anything that I didn't make clear, shoot me an email, or leave a message on the discussion board. But yeah, just let me know. All right, looking forward to reading your rough drafts. See ya.